SARCO ACC is back, yos. GT3 action like never before. Lights out and we are racing. What a move! We have another three-way horse. It's side by side into turn one. SARCO Season 4. Let's try that again. SARCO Season 4 indeed. And it is round number 3. We are back. We did have that little 1 week break in between. That was because I was away for work. And joining me in the commentary box this evening, Brandon DeSantos. And we were discussing earlier if you were a Bravo tier champion. We still weren't quite sure, but we know that you were definitely up there in the podium for one of the championships. Good evening, and I trust you're looking forward to some crazy wet racing here at Suzuka.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to the racing. Suzuka is actually one of my favorite tracks in sim racing. It's got such a unique flow to it. So you need to find the rhythm of the track, otherwise you are not going to be fast.
And finding a rhythm, especially in the wet, is absolutely... No, what happened? I lost myself. I clicked out of that. Let me just go back in there. Sorry, Brandon. I somehow managed to kick myself out of the actual lobby itself. Nevertheless, I hear in the background, the guys have already just started that qualifying. Let's go into the live screen. And I will give you a view of exactly what I am seeing. The ACC TV has updated, so we are able to get that up and running as well. And then Brandon, at least you can start seeing what I'm seeing. And this,
I'm just waiting for it to load, and then yeah.
This one lap flyer, we know how the guys have been chatting about it. And I must say, majority generally do love it. It is always quite an interesting way you got to approach the race, and that's purely because it is one lap. Get that lap in, and away you go.
Yeah, especially I think in this session it's starting off a bit dry and then it's going to get wetter as it goes. So maybe getting out early is the best move for everyone.
So currently the man who is out on track, that is Aiden, getting in the first lap, and it is that one lap flyer. We have mentioned that already. And looking to hopefully take advantage of, should I say, a drier track. Because it does look like there is more rain expected. Let's just have a look and see what is currently happening on the chat. Gabriela Dos Santos, come on PV. This is so weird because Gabrielle Dos Santos, I actually have a cousin who's Gabrielle Gabriela Santos, who's actually Memo's sister. So I got a bit confused there. I thought, sure, here's Gabby supporting her brother, but it's definitely not the fact. Okay, let's see who else is on their laps. So Adrian Bond in his Porsche, so he's on his outlap, followed by Isham Domingo and Morris Buerta. 3 BMWs back to back. How's that? Mr. Paul Fenter makes a return with us from LNR. Lucas joining us. Lucas, one of our supporters, and I say supporters from the background, he is in our Discord. Isn't racing with us, yes, but he is one of those people that are in the community. He comments all the time and really looks forward to the streams. So I'm pretty sure that he is quite happy that the streams are back and we are racing once again.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the streams up, especially when you're busy commenting and all that. When you join, it's a very different feeling.
Most definitely. Well, thank you once again for allowing me to convince you to come and join me again. It does always make for a nice entertainment. So, Aiden crossing the line, and that has put him on top with a 2:11. The next person is Stephen Smith in the very Team SARCO inspired colors there in his Ferrari. And Shane Budd, a new driver, cameraman Tim, a little bit confused there, couldn't quite find him. But let's see where Stephen puts himself, and I keep bumping this microphone. So Stephen, 2:13.3, currently second. We'll just have to see if that time is going to last up there, because that is 2 seconds between himself and the fastest man on track.
Yeah, I think the quali is going to throw off some of the guys. The race pace most probably will improve. It's just that one lap fly is quite difficult.
And especially in these conditions, you can see a little bit of puddles all over the place. And you got to just get it completely right. Just finding the lines. And this is the thing about the wet practice, is that you go from one server to the next server, and then all of a sudden it's different. Adrian Bond, 2:14 there for him. Who's that in the background? Mario Seal crossed the line now, so that puts him into 5th, and Isham Domingo, he goes into 4th place. We've got Agamemnon Veronis coming down through the last corner. He's going to be on his flyer now. Paul Fenter approaching the line in his Honda. It's very interesting to see Paul making a return to that Honda. Crosses the line and he puts himself 3rd. That's a great effort there for him. So Shane currently on a flyer, and right behind him is Mr. Jude Neville, also a lover of the Porsche. Has got himself in the Mercedes-Benz, so it'll be interesting to see where that puts him. Oh, big moment there.
Yeah, I think the Mercedes and the BMs are going to do quite well from what we saw last time. Especially this track with the extreme high speed on the main straight and on the back straight. I think that's going to make a big difference.
And once again, I've left you in the dark here. Apologies, Brandon, but there you go. And Lucas saying that he did join the practice server and says, wow, what a challenge, but is enjoying the Monday night racings. I will be there next Monday to come and rub some shoulders with the guys again. I just had some things I was sorting out on Monday, so I did miss it. So I just wanted to see car number 23. I've lost my mouse. There it is. So Memo approaching the 130R in the wet, so it can be quite daunting, especially when you're trying to find just those extra little tenths of a second. Oh no, so that's definitely not going to help Memo's lap. So yellow flag there for him. So Mohat Musa, and we have finally got his livery to load. So Mohat now will cross that line and begin his flying lap.
You can see how the rain actually catches you out, especially in the spots you're not expecting it.
And that's when there's those little streams that filter across the track. They can definitely catch you out. There's Ruan for LTR. He's going to cross his line to begin his flyer, as well as Jason, who joined us, I was going to say last week, but the week before, in his Lamborghini. So Jude now coming to the end of his lap. Oh, big tail there for him as he got into the power. That rear just stepped out a little bit.
And the thing with the wet weather conditions, you can't run too much traction control, otherwise it interferes way too much and you lose a lot of time. So you have to try to find that nice balance where you can still get enough power down without cutting all that power.
So just putting up a note there for Shane, just to remind him that it is a one-lap flyer.
See, there's still a few guys in the pits waiting for their turn.
So there will be a few coming out. Mohat now really, you can just see as he got onto that curb, the car just almost tried to over rotate a little bit, but he was able to hang on to it quite nicely there. So crosses the line, and that puts him into a 5th place, dropping down. That is Stephen, Isham, and Morris. Car number 5, Flip Van Sale. So he's done his outlap, approaching the line to do his flyer for this qualifying. Crosses the line, and that puts him into pole position, followed by Ruan Handike. You can see the line that he took coming out the last corner, nice and tight. That puts him up into 5th place. Next to cross the line is Jason. That is 12th place there for Jason. And next in line is Jason Farmer, currently on his outlap. So we've got just under 3 minutes left to go of the qualifying. And Shane there on his 4th lap. Thinking he did not get the driver's briefing. So that puts Jason currently into 13th place. And Jabulani Madzi Van Dondo, I have been practicing that, Jobs. You can just see with him coming through turn number 12 on that power, and how that car just looks like it was 4-wheel drifting there. Lots of curb on the exit there, and I know that those curbs are very slippery when wet. Sure.
Yeah, the guys are going to have to watch out for a few spots around this track where curbs will be extremely dangerous in those conditions. Onto the green stuff.
I am not taking responsibility for that.
I think he just ran a little bit too wide onto that green stuff, and because it's wet, doesn't react like in the dry, so it just lets you lose all that grip that you used to have.
Because now that you're also on power again, is all that happens is that rear wheel starts spinning up, doesn't push the nose anymore, just lifts the rear, over rotates, and we saw it straight into the wall. So Jason now in his BMW coming through turn number 18. Where will this put him? He crosses the line and goes into 12th position. And that is the end of qualifying. Only 30 seconds left to go.
So a few guys are not getting a chance to qualify. Memo, obviously, with the spin, he lost out on that lap.
So we saw Memo spinning out. We saw Jabulani spinning out. We got Terry Wolford. Looks like he...
Don't think he went out.
I've got him as he did an out lap, but not as doing an actual time lap. As well as Robert Stoltz, he did an out lap. Sean Herrera also did an out lap. So this looks like it was laps that were done, but unfortunately not able to convert those into a full lap.
Yeah, maybe they're just checking the setup before the race starts.
But 20 drivers here this evening, and then we've got Gary van der Haar as well in 20th place.
That's very awesome to see a full grid.
So big thank you to everybody who has joined in and is putting up those comments. We really do love hearing from everybody. So just let us know who you're supporting this evening, because the drivers do come back and they do watch the racing afterwards. And we were very, very strict to say, guys, let's get these first couple of corners nice and tidy. No funny business required. And hopefully we can have a great clean start to the next 4 races of the season.
And the load shedding's calmed down a little bit, so it should help quite a few guys.
So for those that missed it, we did get this from Faisal Kutsia saying he approves of this. Thank you very much, Faisal. Thank you for joining. Welcome. So we're just waiting for the last couple of seconds to count down, and then we will get this race underway. So Flip van Sale in his LTR Ferrari getting it out on pole position ahead of Andres Rodio. And we just know how competitive Andre, Aiden, Jude, Ruan and Paul Musa, who finished on the podium for the championship 2 seasons ago. So it is going to be extremely tough at the top there. And knowing that Isham Domingo is in 9th place and Marius Buerta in 10th place, man oh man, it's going to be an absolute crack of a race. 75 minutes is ahead of us. No pitting required, no tire change required, just a full-on strategy to the end. Let's see how this is going to play out. then it's a long crawl towards that start finish line, all the guys getting themselves into position. And that should be a green. And we are racing here at SARCO round number 3. And look at that, the two Lamborghinis have had an absolute cracker jump off the line there. Both getting ahead of a Flip van Zyl with Aiden going a little bit wide there. Paul Venter just about tucking it behind him.
It's going
A
to
little
lose
bit
a
of
few
contact,
places,
little touch further down, but no damage, no car spinning, so that's good to see. So now we can get down to the racing. A little bit of a touching further back. And that's a side-by-side between Terry and... who's that going off? Was that Adrian Bond, possibly? But Paul Fenter and Sean Domingo, so still both on track. And it is now a single foul time with Andres Rodeo leading the way as he comes down into turn number 8. Then this tight turn number 9 under the bridge towards the hairpin. And man, oh man. Tricky conditions on the braking there. You can just see how those cars are just about four-wheel sliding into that braking zone. So a nice single file through turns number 12 towards the spoon. And Aiden really pulling a lot of pressure on the back of Ruan Heineke. He decides to try and go around the outside, but there's not going to be much grip there as Mohat Musa now tucks in behind him. But it is still lots and lots of cars to come. Ferrari, Porsche in the background going a little bit wide. But so far a little bit of a touching, but no big bumping. And we can now get down to racing, which is exactly what we want. Robert Stoltz in the Lamborghini, chasing down Jabulani. And I'm pretty sure that Jabulani... oh no, we've got Jude falling down the order here.
I missed the braking zone.
So we can see what happens here as Jude comes into the braking zone. Oh, that looks a little bit late. Oh no, there was a contact there by Ruan, just being spun around.
Oh, someone else also went off.
Oh, that was Shane up on the curb, getting a bit of a bump.
And there's 2 cars off.
So lots and lots of cars bouncing and coming off. At the moment, I saw some contact there by Sean, but he is still on track. Ooh, that looked very strange, because that looked like Aiden had got the pass, but then all of a sudden, was side by side through turn number 8, and Aiden missing that turn-in point. These conditions really not making it easy for anyone, and Mohat managing to get that place ahead of Aiden Russell. With Paul Fenter in his Honda. You can just see just about 4-wheel sliding as he goes onto the braking zone into the hairpin.
Yeah, and that's not one of the easiest braking zones in the dry, never mind in the wet.
And that's because that corner, you can see it like fades away from you, and you're wanting to point the car to the right hand side, but then on the brakes, and you have to brake as you're coming into that first corner, turn number 10, and it all just seems to fade away from you. That Jude having a look to the inside. Is he close enough for that overtake? Jason Farmer going a little bit too wide there, and just opening up that door. So Jude able to sneak up on the inside. But now it is Lamborghini versus Honda. And I'm pretty sure that Paul's going to be under a major pressure coming through the start-finish straight, because we just know how quick this Lamborghini is.
You can see how it closes up the gap through that tight section. And
this rain definitely not going away. And the beauty about this is that depending if you get your fuel strategy right, that 75 minutes in this wet, it does look like that the track is wet. You don't need to change tires, so there might be some guys that actually don't make a stop here at all.
That would be awesome if the guys can keep the cars on track and not overuse the fuel. I think then that's actually going to be the best strategy. There's more time on the track and less time in the pits. It's obviously going to put you further up.
And just following this little battle between Sean Larrera on the back of Stephen Smith. And Stephen Smith right behind Terry Wolford in his AMG. So a three-way horse definitely in the making here.
Yeah, you can see Terry and Stephen made up actually a lot of places with everyone going off.
And at this point, Stephen's wide, opens the door for Sean Larrero. But now because Stephen had the wider line, he is able to get that power down and just get a better drive out. You can see that Sean, that rear just snapping a little bit on him when he did go through that puddle, and that was off the racing line. So it's very tricky conditions off the line here.
Yeah, especially in that hairpin where we need to put the power down, and now obviously with the rain there's that puddle there, it's going to make it extremely difficult to pass there.
So now through the 130R, Terry Wolford, Stephen Smith, Sean Larrero and Deshaun Domingo going through. So it is a LTR versus Project Vapor, a little battle here. And that BMW definitely does ride the curbs nicely. You can just see how Isham got such a better drive there. And was Stephen under pressure on the power there, or did that car get a little bit sideways? And just sneaking in behind Terry Wolford, and Terry's going wide. Was he able to catch it?
Doesn't seem
yes,
like
he was. So he did lose. He did lose the places, but was able to hang on there. Sure. The currently fastest man on track is Andres Rodeo. That is a 2:12.2, and starting to open up a comfortable lead between himself and Flippenthal. So Flippenthal in a second place with Ruan Heineke just behind him, and Mohat Musa in fourth position. And Paul Fenter still has this very, very able green McLaren Lamborghini behind him. And we know what they say about a green car.
It's Mamba fever.
It's a thing. So it looked like there was a little bit of a contact here for Morris. It looked like he might have gone off. Let's see what. Okay, so that was Memo stuck on in the middle of the track there, coming through turn number 8.
I didn't have anywhere to go.
So that was quite unfortunate for Marius. And Sean Herrera is still battling here with Stephen Smith. And all that's doing is just inviting Isham Domingo to come and join the party. And Terry Wolford in the background there, starting to catch up once again. But now we'll see the BMW, how Isham is able to really attack these curbs. The BMW is just so good. Oh, as I say that, it does look like it just lifted the front and off they went. So we've got this 4-way battle happening here, as well as this Lamborghini and Honda battle between Paul and Aiden.
Well, we took a very nice line through there, through turn 2.
Oh wait, hold on, I've got to go back here, because this is just absolute craziness. And looking at the comments coming through, Lucas is saying that he's supporting Mr. Ruan Heineke. No, that he's not a fan of the wet, most definitely. Load shedding boys unite from Grand Sebastian. And Project Vapor boys are wet weather specialists. Well, Andres Roda is definitely showing that talent as Stephen going a little bit of a joker lap there and opening the door there for Sean Larero, who is now able to sneak through. And I'm sure Isham, whoa!
Too much now.
I'm sure that's a little bit of a cut warning there for Isham. I know cutting the corner is what is required, but I think that was a little bit excessive. It's place changing there, and that is between Jason and Adrian Bond. So just, sorry, I missed it. I didn't do the replay. And Jude Neville right on the back of Amarius coming through the spoon. And dare I say, there's a dry line starting to form, because I'm sure the drivers on track are definitely not going to want to agree with me. But it definitely does look like it.
Yeah, you can definitely see there is a dry line forming. Because once the guys get off that line, you can see how much speed they actually lose. That was a beautiful overtake through there.
100%. That was quite aggressive there by Jude, but managed to hang on to that move. And overtakes like that we can watch all day, every day. And Andres Rodeo has done it again. The 2:11.7 is his fastest lap, and he's just done two back-to-back 2:11s. So he really has increased the pace here. And that is the battle for a second, third, and fourth place, bringing Mohad Musa and his retro BMW livery in there. And Isham on the back of Steven now, as we see Sean Larero being able to just break away there. And just looking at when Isham changed the direction of the car, how that rear just keeps sliding. I was invited to come and do a couple of laps this afternoon as Steven catching the inside curb there.
Yeah, it took way too much curb there.
And this is the beauty about technology. And speaking to cameraman Tim, you can see he just turned in way too soon. But hold on, there's
just threw the car off.
Something up here. It's saying that Ruan Heineke is slow. And that is because we now have Ruan Heineke down in fourth place and Mohad Musa up into third. So he's moved himself up the order. And now Paul Fenter has got the back of the LTR driver in his sights.
Yeah, he must have made some sort of a mistake.
So what would really make this very, very interesting is that if the Ranger stops. So I just saw
because then the guys...
Then we're essentially forcing a pit stop to happen. And then it's the decision of how soon do you pit, when do you pit. Because driving on the dry line on the slick tires is all good and well, but it's once you go off the line and you hit that standing water, your race can end in a in a puddle of your own tears.
It's also going to depend how dry is that dry line as well. Because if it's not dry enough, you are going to be losing time in all your braking zones.
Oh, Sean Larero, he's gone off. I wonder if he just went a little bit too wide there for himself. So far so good. Whoa, just a
little
snap of the rear.
Might have gone off line a little bit, and that extra wet part of the track just threw the car off. But you could see they tried to correct it.
But now Mohamed Musa has really closed up on the back of Flip van Zyl. And I just know how quick this BMW is in a straight line, so I'm pretty sure that he's going to be trying to put a lot of pressure on Flip. You can see almost cohorting him into the inside, and Mohat going around the outside, so that was actually a fantastic setup there. And we've got Paul Fenter a little bit slower here. Oh! That looked like donuts on his own there. And that's coming out of Spoon. Oh, big slide there for Terry Wolford coming out, and that's going to be a few places that he would have now made up. So now Mohat has got himself ahead of the two LTR drivers. And Aidan Russell, who was right on the back of Mohat, he seems to have just dropped back a little bit. No, he was chasing Paul. That's what was happening. That's why there was that gap. Where's that put Paul now after his little pirouette? So he's down in 9th position, so down 3 positions from where he qualified. But it is currently an all LTR affair. And the Project Vapor comments are coming in fast and furiously here. Let's go PV12, goat. You're going to be joking. So Ruan Hanneke going around the outside, moving himself up. Yeah, I think that was just Flip van Zyl saying, look, you're faster than me, you might as well have a go. So it is AMG versus Porsche. Jude closing up on the back of Adrian. And Paul Fenter looked like he's gone straight on. And that looks like that is the end of Paul Fenter.
No, that's a bit of pity because he's still in a good position. It's a lot of speed through there.
Yeah, that looked like it was a little bit hot there from Jude. And that's the thing, is that now that he's got that second phase of that corner wrong, is that Adrian is just able to accelerate away and just open that gap. Andres Rodio just putting in his another best lap of a 110.6.
I think he's really enjoying the wet on this track.
And the Ferraris seem to be taking a bit of strain now, because Aidan Russell right on the back of Flip van Zyl, the man who put it all up on pole. And Jude and Adrian Bond, I saw that it was just changing the red, green, so they were doing just about the same speed down the start-finish straight, and Jude just managing to get ahead there, but without that little snap. Saw very, very tricky conditions there. And Stephen in 11th place is currently going quicker than Adrian Bond, the same pace as Jude Neville, so this battle here might still tighten up as well. The next person to receive some pressure is going to be Flip van Zyl, because Aidan Russell, looking at lap times, Flip van Zyl did a 2:14 last lap, so he really is struggling, and Aidan a 2:11.4.
Yeah, very big difference.
It just looks like Flip is batting to get that car turned in, because he got into the power pretty much the same place that Aidan had in that Lamborghini. But Flip just seemed to have understeered a little bit coming out of that turn number 14.
Yeah, maybe his setup's not so great for these conditions. Because he is struggling quite a lot now. Because he's just dropping back further and further and further.
And Ruan is closing up on the back of Mohat, now within that 1 second. Robert has gained himself a position over Memo. We can go back and have a look and see what was going on there. We can hear that Porsche trying to get itself back on track, and it looked like Memo just over-rotated that coming out of the hairpin. I'm just double checking that that was Memo. It was indeed.
Yes, it was.
And it looks like things have changed for this Ferrari driver, because now he's right on the back of Mohat and not letting him get away.
Looks like he's actually making the time up in all the time turns. Because we know that BM's really quick in the straight.
Yeah, it looks like it is the twisty stuff, but now as he comes out of turn number 12, heading his way down to the spoon, you see him starting to open up that gap. Well, Memoir has got that place back from Robert Stoltz, and Adrian Bond starting to put a little bit of pressure on the back of Stephen Smith. So we've just got some feedback here from Grant Sebastian. Paul's game crashed. So yes, indeed, Lucas nailed it on the head there. So that is very unfortunate for Paul.
Yeah, it was a pity because he was doing quite well.
Oh, look at that Porsche just sliding through there. But here we go, pressure mounting, and look at what's happening. It is BMW, Ferrari, and a Lamborghini. 52 minutes left to go, and you see, this is what a three-way horse is. This stuff exists. Does they get themselves through turn number 2? Looking at the lap times. So how's this for lap time? Andres Radio 2:11.1, Mohad Musa 2:11.8, Ruan 2:11.8, Aiden 2:10.6. Aiden is currently the fastest man on track.
And by quite a bit.
Having beaten Andres Rodio's best time by 0.035 of a second.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
And I do
So you
think
should be catching onto these guys by the end of this lap. You should be right on them.
yes, well, we do have Jason, no sorry, that's Shane Budd in the background there, just seen the leading pack come through. Just hope that he, whoa, Ruan is very, very wide, just hanging on to the black stuff there. So thanks Paul for that, saying fatal error ended his race. Ruan is wide, that's going to open the door for the inside for the Lamborghini, and easy overtake there in the back. My gosh. I'm sure Jason's eyes I'm sure his eyes open, or Shane's eyes open as wide as mine did, seeing that that Lamborghini coming through with the Ferrari right behind it. But I'm so happy that they all managed to get through there. Sure. So isn't that now a change of events where Ruan was closing up quite nicely? Has unfortunately now lost that little bit of the pace between himself and Mohad, but has now lost the place to Aiden, the fastest man on track.
Ooh, I'm getting very wide through there.
And you can see that when he got onto the brakes, just because that entry was so, dare I say, untidy, I don't mean to offend anyone, but you can just see how it just changed his entry, took a little bit too much of the turn in, and then it just impacted him on the way out. Oh, what's happening here? We definitely have had something go down here between Aiden and Ruan. Oh! Oh, no ways! They both did it! They both did it, I can't believe it!
Spin.
There was exactly, it was a sympathy spin there from Ruan, and I think what happened is that Ruan saw what was happening in front of him. He then followed suit, and oh my gosh.
And it has happened many a time where someone in front of you spins and you do the exact same thing.
I think it's because your eyes just light up like, oh my gosh, this is a great opportunity, no! So Mr. Sean Lerero now is right behind Ruan. And Sean Lerero in the 2:11.8, so he's right on that pace of Ruan now as well. So can definitely tell you there's no team orders at LTR. So Sean will be really pushing hard to get himself ahead of Ruan. Little battle brewing up between Porsche and the AMG. And Morris Buerta, you can see they're in 11th place. I'm
Looks
sure
like he's closing up on Terry.
He'd won a piece of this as well. 13.8 for him in the last lap, and Morris is currently in the 13.1s. So he's slightly quicker than Terry, but that last lap, both Terry and Adrian have gone quicker than him.
Yeah, Terry was getting a little bit sideways there.
Is that just trying to cool down those tires? Are those wet tires starting to take a bit of strain as the dry line starts getting drier and drier? I know that it's still raining, but you still get that overheating effect if you don't get those tires in enough rain. And with 20 cars on track, it definitely does disperse lots of water.
Yeah, and especially through on Suzuka, where all the turns are basically high-speed turns, it definitely will start overheating the tires.
And Gary,
it looks like there's some damage on there.
Yeah, seems to have the raised nose effect there. Oh, we didn't see anything there, Jabulani, don't worry. So far, Tyler Scott in pits, Shane Budd having pitted, Isham Domingo having pitted as well, and it's a 31-second pit, unless that would have been a drive-through, would have been a pit stop. Thinking maybe it was a drive-through, but we've got 4.5 seconds now separating between Adrian, Terry, and Marius. Keeping it very wide there, and I see that just in front of Adrian is Stephen Smith. So 4 cars now, all within that 1.5 seconds of each other, and 45 minutes left.
Make for an interesting race.
1 hour 15 is the total time, so we have just burnt 30 minutes, 45 minutes left to go. And there have been so many changes in this race already. I'm pretty sure there's still more to come. And quite surprisingly, Sean Herrero is still behind Ruan. But it looks like Ruan has definitely upped his game, because that last lap that he did was a 10.8 versus Sean's 2:11.3. So it's half a second that he managed to find on Sean Lerero.
And can keep up that pace, then it will make for another close race there.
So I saw it happening and just managed to catch it, because this is a Robert Stoltz coming through the spoon, and Jabulani, very tight line there, and it looks like the Lamborghini just didn't turn in, and Jabulani are making it an easy overtake in the end there.
It does appear that the Lambo has a bit of damage in the front as well, so I don't think that's helping him at all.
So, where we thought that Flip Vansel was under a bit of pressure, is that his he was doing 214, stuck in the 213s. His pace has dramatically increased, so he's now 212.1. And Aiden's last lap was a 210.2. So somehow Flip Vansel is still hanging on here. 210.9 there for Aiden, so he has definitely found lots of pace. So Jude up into 7th position. That's a great recovery drive there for him. And Jude's previous lap 211.2, so that was his quickest lap. Has he gone quicker? 212.3. So a slightly slower that way around. Just seeing some comments coming through. Number 1 overtake, Mohak the Rock Musa. Paul Fencer saying 30 minutes prep was shocker, lack of the Honda felt. Well, it's actually quite weird that we see you back in the Honda, Paul, but in some weird nostalgic way it actually suits you. And we've got Cameron Fox saying, "Hey Dan." And that's how it comes through in my head. So side-by-side action here between Terry and Adrian. So Terry gets the inside, Adrian gets the inside, Terry gets the inside. And Adrian now has to concede that coming up through Dunlop, but we've seen some of the drivers, little sympathy spins there between Ruan and Aiden. And Adrian really attacking those curbs. We're in the red. Oof. I'm always scared of those curbs.
Yeah, and you can see how it's unsettling the car quite a lot.
So Marius in the pits, it's showing he was up into first place. That doesn't make sense. Memo really struggling with these conditions in his Porsche today. So we didn't see the overtake, but Flip Vansel is, it's saying in 5th place, but it is actually 4th place, because it's showing that Marius had jumped up into 1st when he went into the pits. But there is a great 3-way horse of the 3 LTR cars. But I'm sure the comments will come through for PV, and that is for Andres Rodeo, Mohab Musa and Aiden Russell, the 3 Project Vapor car drivers, as well as contributors to Team SARCO. Still, I'm not sure what's going on here with Marius, because it put him in 1st, and he's definitely been in the pits way too long.
Yeah, now it's showing he's in 11th.
Oh, Robert Stoltz looks like he's collected the wall there in his Lamborghini. But that camera shot allows us to watch the lead pack go through.
It looks like Robert's not getting enough turn in on that car.
So a lot of goat messages coming through for Aiden Russell. Russell the goat. I'm sure we can make up some sort of meme for that. And then I must say, Mr. Serodio out in front has had a pretty quiet race, need I say that, because 17 seconds is the gap between himself and the second place Mohat.
Yeah, he's just out there on his own, found his space, and yeah, just pulling away little bit. I don't think, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, I don't think anyone will catch him.
There's the three LTR guys in a row. Quite a nice shot that. And that's exactly what Avia said. Man, those three LTR cars look good together. Yes, indeed, but they should be first, second, and third, Avia. But look at this little battle between Steven and Terry Wilfred. Absolutely fantastic to see. Adrian does seem to be just losing out a little bit there. He was right up in this battle. Oh! Ruin Hanukkah up into a fourth place. Flip Fontel looks like he might have just outbraked himself. Will we be able to get that on the replay? So Ruin right behind Flip, going into the braking zone.
Looks like it just went too wide.
Just didn't get that car turned in on the brakes, and just opened the door there and allowed Ruin to go through. But now this is the three LTR drivers. That's 211.3 for Ruin, 211.4 for Flip, and 211.5 for Sean. So the three LTR drivers definitely following each other for pace.
Yeah, and then that becomes a bit of a problem because you get so used to following the other guy's pace that you can't catch him. It appears we've lost Marius actually.
Yeah, I'm not seeing him anymore, unfortunately. But Steven and Terry still at it. Terry can't find a way past Steven. Steven putting that car in all the wrong places for Terry, but all the right places for himself. But we know this AMG is also quick in a straight line. We also get a nice comparison just to see what the lap times are looking like. So Steven 2:12.657, Terry 2:12.655. So 0.002 was the lap difference there for those two. Oh, Gary and Jabulani. Something has definitely gone up here. Let's go back and see. So this is currently following a Jabulani. Oh, that was Gary just collecting him on the back there. Oh, and in the background there, an LTR driver just carrying a little bit too much speed. So Jabulani just getting out of the way, allowing the three LTR cars to go past. But while that's happening is Gary and Jabulani still having this almighty battle, fighting for position. And talking about fighting for position, these two have been inseparable for the last couple of laps.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing about when the guys are coming to lap you and you're busy in a race, is to try to let them pass without losing a lot of time.
And that is definitely the art of being overtaken, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's also the drivers that are coming up to overtake, is that you've got two other cars right behind you. So you're also, trying to minimize the time that you're slowing down, trying to navigate through those back markers.
At the same time, you're also trying to minimize the risk of taking unnecessary chances, because then you'll definitely lose a lot of positions.
So 13-1 for Steven, 13-3 for Terry. So definitely slowing each other up now. And Sean Lerero into 5th place. That is 14 positions up from when he started. So absolute great drive there for him. And it does look like he's going to be applying as much pressure as he can on the back of Ruan Hanika. So Avia just made a comment here. If he says Russell the love muscle, man, that's something that can stick. Oh, Ruan is wide. Sean Lerero up on the inside through Spoon. Out of turn number 14, and Sean Lerero up into 4th place. That is 15 places that Sean has made up in this race so far. Into the braking zone here at turn number 16. Bang the curb on the inside. Bang the curb again. Just be careful of the curb on the inside, it doesn't over-rotate you. And Ruan going into the pit, so that's quite interesting. With 30 minutes left to go, Ruan has felt that he needs to go into the pits unless expecting it to dry up, and went with a little bit of a lighter car. So that has brought Jude Neville now up into 6th place. And he's going to have to navigate this Gary and Jabulani little battle here. But Jabulani just opens up that line, allows Jude to go through. Terry Wolford into the pits. Very, very interesting. And this is one of the things that we mentioned at the start of the race. There is no mandatory pits. The guys could do what they pleased, but with all of the battling that Terry Wolford has been doing, also understanding that the AMG is a lot heavier on the juice. That makes sense. Terry didn't stop at all. That was a drive-through penalty.
No, so that's going to put him back quite a bit.
So Ruan now back on track. Ruan into a 10th place. Well, Terry has now been thrown right behind Jason Farmer. There's a Jason there in the BMW. But Terry's going to have to just look for that opportunity.
Already putting the pressure.
And then just ahead there is Isham Domingo. And Isham 212.9. And then Ruan Hanika in 10th place. So Terry did get past. We didn't see it happen, but it must have been there through Dunlop. So this gap now between Aiden and Moat is now 1.5 seconds. But it's been very, very little amounts that Aiden has been taking off. And that's because Mohat did a 2:11.2 with Aiden's 2:11.2. So Mohat almost as if he's now managing the pace from the driver behind him. which makes it even more difficult to catch the guy when he starts going faster than what you're expecting him to.
Yeah, definitely. Also could have been that he was saving the car a little bit, because the BM was also a bit heavy on fuel. They might have been holding back a little bit, and now that he's seen the Lambo coming, he's started to step it up a little bit.
Ooh, that doesn't seem right. What's happened here? Okay, so this looks like this is Ruin on the inside. Oh, takes too much curb through the chicane and just spins himself around. So obviously just waiting for those drivers to go past. Oh, so that was should I say, a fatal error there for Ruin.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, cameraman Tim, very confused there for a moment.
It looks like Terry also lost a little bit of time there because he was right on the back of that beer. And now there's quite a bit of a gap.
No, so he got ahead of, so that was Jason Farmer that he got ahead of, who is currently in 12th place. This is Sean Domingo, so Terry's closing up on the driver ahead of him. So that's Isham now, part of the Project Vapor team. And Mohath is definitely bringing the noise, because 2:11.3 was his last lap. Aiden did a 2:11.5. So it's almost as if you hit it spot on. Is Mohath saw that Aiden was coming, and he just put his foot down and has started to open up the gap. So there was a camera view that was on Project Cars where the camera was almost on the curb. So when you saw the cars coming through that turn number 8, you got that low profile of it.
It's like I actually prefer that camera view, because you actually get that sense of speed that the cars are coming past.
Oh no!
What happened there?
I think that's Aiden having just disconnected. I can no longer select him.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
Yeah, because I see we're now down to 18 drivers. So we've lost Marius and Aiden now. And that then now promotes everybody up one position, and it puts Sean Loureiro, having started in 16th place, up into 3rd position.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome for LTR, not so cool there for the Project Vapor guys. You can see Gabrielle saying, no, Aiden disconnected. That's exactly what happened there. And he was really on a good pace there, and I do believe that he possibly could have reeled in Mohat. But now Sean Herrero, there he is in 3rd place with Flip Van Zyl there in the background in 4th. We're now down to 17 drivers, so we've lost another one. What is going on here? And you know how hard it is to do a roll call out of your head from 20 drivers?
Yeah, I know.
It's Memo.
Yeah, it's Memo.
So 3 drivers unfortunately lost with 25 minutes left to go. And Andres Rodeo now having taken that fastest lap back from Aiden, at fastest lap a 2:10.2. So currently half a second quicker than the next fastest person. Would you know, want to take a guess who that second fastest person is?
Ooh, I'm not sure. It's most probably gonna be one of the Ferraris.
So surprisingly not, it is actually Jude Neville in his AMG. A 2:10.7. Then it is Rowan, a 2:10.8 in the Ferrari.
That's why it's kind of put of pace in that Mercedes.
So there is battles once again, Jason and Terry. Ron Haneke is showing that he was slowing down. Whoa, hold on. There could be a change here. Mohamed Musa's in the pits. 24 minutes left to go. Flip Van Zyl and Sean Herrera are now going to go past. What dice still need to be rolled here that we do not know about? Are the Ferraris going to be able to go to the end?
But if they are, then that's gonna be a very interesting strategy, because that means the other guys all have to go into the pits.
Well, Mohamed Musa has stopped, so he has come out, and this has put him down into 5th position.
So maybe he just needed to put an extra lap or 2 of fuel.
So he was stopped for 12 seconds, so that was a little bit of fuel that he put in. Definitely no tires. I see Isham, he was stationary for 27 seconds. Ruin was stationary for 30.37, so I wonder if that was a set of tires there for him.
Yeah, it's kind of very interesting. You might have had tires overheat with the dry line, because we have seen a lot of the guys actually move off the dry line coming down the main straight. So I'm sure they're getting a bit of temperature issues on the tires.
Because the next question is that if Mohamed has gone in with the BMW, the man out in front, Andres Rodio in the Lamborghini, is he going to need some fuel?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see.
So, Stephen Smith, currently in 6th place, so that's put him up 2 positions from where he qualified, is actually not looking too bad after all the little battles that he's been having with Adrian Bond and Terry Walford.
Yeah, that actually is doing actually very, very well. And it looks like we might be catching up to Mahat.
Doing that? Nope.
No.
Yeah, Stevens' fastest lap was a 2:12.4. If we compare that to Mohat is a whole 1.2 seconds quicker. Grant, I definitely feel the sentiment. Lots of tears there for Aiden's disconnect there. And Cameron basically said, Eskim's coconut. This is a family show, but I'm sure you can all finish that word. It starts with the letter P for pumpkin, but it's a coconut. Is that... Yeah, that's Jabulani. So I'm sure he'll get out the way for Stephen. anytime soon. Steven, just be patient. Oh, that angle from cameraman Tim is absolutely terrible. There's a blue flag's been waved. So there we go. Oh! Jabulani opened the door there for Steven, and Steven just couldn't get the power down. So there he goes, comes off the power, allows Steven through. What's happening with Terry? Oh no!
To the wall.
So that was chasing Andres Rodeo through the S's, and it just let go. So fortunately, no contact with the wall there for Terry. And he only, well, is now dropped back behind Jason. So he will need to do all that hard work again to go catch Jason and get that pass done once again.
Yeah, he lost quite a lot of time there.
But now currently all drivers starting to have a few seconds between them as we come into their last 18 minutes. Sorry guys, I've got a bit of a scratch in the throat there.
And I wonder if we're going to see any other pitting from the AMGs and the BMs.
Well, I would think that the AMGs and the BMWs would need the fuel. So it is all going to be interesting. 17 minutes left to go. Just looking at the entry time. So entry time is 32 seconds. And that's through the pits that's moving, and then stationary time. So you're looking at about a 42-second stop here.
Which is not actually too bad. But considering we might not see any of the Ferraris or Porsches pit, it's quite a lot.
Jason under the bridge. So something has caught him out there. Oh, it looked like his entry was not good. And you can see that that car was already sliding by the time he reached turn number 9.
Yeah, I think he just couldn't catch it enough.
But still a good drive there for Jason. Started in 13th place, up 3, and currently in 10 with, I'm sure, some inspiration from Andres Rodeo. 2:10.2, and nearly 15 minutes. It is quite interesting how these positions have played out. You can see Jude Neville up into 4th place, so he's at an absolute great recovery. Adrian Bond in the Porsche needing to go back onto his little pit box, so he's going to start dropping down the order.
So it looks like the guys are going to need, not all of them, but looks like they are going to need that little bit of fuel to finish the race.
It is going to be very interesting, is all I can say, of who can make it, who won't. Adrian Bond now coming out of the pits, and he's going to have Terry right on him, and there's Terry there. As we're saying, Mr. Wolford driving the Snowpiercer this evening. And I'm sure Tyrius eyes are going to light up seeing the back of that green Porsche. And looking forward to challenging Adrian in the next couple of laps. Because we are less than 15 minutes to go and it has been up and down, positions changing. The only consistent is Andres Rodeo out in the front and the fact that it hasn't stopped raining.
Yeah, I think it's to the benefit of pretty much everyone that it hasn't stopped. Because especially some of the guys, they've had a bit of a challenging race, so this is where they're going to start making up those positions for all the cars that actually do need to put that little bit extra fuel in.
So I must say, definitely the driver of the day, as much as Andres had a flawless race, is definitely going to go to, I think, Sean Lerero, up 17 places, started in 19th place, and here he is circulating in second.
And he had quite a few battles along the way.
Most definitely. So to the guys on the stream watching, let us know if you agree with my comment. Ooh, that was Robert. As I went to Robert to go and see how his race was going, off Roberts, like I said this before, I've stopped taking responsibility for things like that. So Terry Wolford out of turn number 18 and Adrian Bond going back into the pits. So a free position there for Terry, you can see getting himself back into the wet. And during the 24-hour of Spa that we did, is that it was one of those things where the driving in the wet actually did change the tire pressure. Terry Wolford, man. And going along the Kemmel Straits, is that what we did find is that during that straight, you get it in the water and you were able to just cool those tires down a little bit and reduce your pressure by 0.2. So it definitely did make a difference.
Yeah, and it helps you so you don't have to actually pit so soon and go to the slicks while the track is still fairly wet.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the rain has eased up at all the entire race. And Ruan Heineke in 8th place on the back now of Ishan Domingo. Looking at lap comparisons, Ruan's previous lap was a 2:10.86. That was his fastest lap. Isham in the 2:13s. What's happened with Stephen Smith? That seems to be very slow.
It's very slow.
Only one way to figure it out, and this is to go back and have a look and... So that's front and rear damage there for Stephen. Thank you, come again. So we are approaching that 10-minute mark. Who has to pit? Who has called the strategy right?
I don't think if guys don't pit in the next maybe 2 laps, I don't think anyone is going to pit.
Yeah, so the guys are agreeing to say great drive from Sean, but he said let's not let it be known how metronomic Andre has been the GOAT, and I do not take that away from him. Like I say, I will say this to his face, I will not take it away from him, but he has had a inverted commas unpressured race, and I do believe that Sean has had one of the drives of his life coming through the field. But yes, Andres Rodeo has been absolutely fantastic. Another fastest lap of a 2:10.7. So absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't think he actually needs to be putting such quick times now, especially towards the end of the race.
Well, he's currently doing a 2:11.1 versus Sean Larrera at 2:11.0 and Flip Van Sale at 2:11.2.
They're all doing fairly quick lap times, all very close to each other.
Yeah, so they are, all three of them are doing those very, very low 2:11s.
I think Robert.
And the 6th place here for Stephen Smith. I'm sure he is going to be over the moon. And chasing down Gary van der Haar, who's currently in 13th place. But Gary is actually holding his own here. Because if I look at that last lap time was not a good lap. So we won't mention that. Yeah, but Stephen was also slower that time round. So it did look like he wasn't closing up.
Yeah, I think after that crash, Steven might have just backed off a little bit, just not to lose any more time.
And if you have a look at the bottom right of the screen, 2:10.4 for Jude Neville. That is his fastest lap of the race. So here on lap number 30, still able to put in his fastest lap. Oh, great little flick of the rear on the curbs, coming through 130R, and Jude chasing down Flip Van Sale. Jude 0.8 of a second quicker than Flip that last time round. 8.5 seconds left to go. 8 minutes. No man, 8.5 minutes left to go. Time comparison, Jude was 0.7 quicker that lap. So 3 laps plus 1, and at the pace that Jude is going, if he's taking just on half a second, just over half a second, that's 2.8 seconds. Jude could be up for a fight for the final podium position, provided he doesn't have to go into the pits.
Yeah, it's gonna be very close. If you can keep this pace up, it's gonna be a very interesting last couple of laps.
So Robert going into the pits, and Jude really attacking those curves. So Alvius just saying, Sean dropping the gap, or is the rodeo saving fuel? Well, that last lap was in 11.5 versus Sean's 11.1. Oh, something's gone up here. Well, they're just having a little bit of a little rubby. Let's go have a look. Okay. So, it looks like Ruan just outbraked himself, got on the inside, Sharp closed the door, a little flash of the lights, and we're back to racing once again. So that's how we sort it out, guys. Well done. But Ruan making Isham's life very difficult as Isham gets a little snap of the rear, opens the door on the inside for Ruan through the exit of turn 6, now through 7, up through a Dunlop curb, and Ruan is away. Isham now down into 8th position. Advia, so update, Andres Rodeo, 2:11.2, Sean Larrero, 2:11.0. So that time is definitely coming down. And we saw 2 cars fighting it out. And it is Jason Farmer and Terry Wolford having an absolute cracker go here. Both drivers last lap 2:13.7 for Jason, and 2:13.4 there for Terry. So right in the heat of the battle here. Just over 5 minutes left to go. Looks like Jason is a little bit wide. He's tearing well to sneak up on the inside. Not close enough, but he's going to be on that braking zone. And Terry is a little bit wide. Keeping that car in the wet. Oh, Nelly said something that would have been taken out of context. in the wetter part of the lane. But that BMW absolutely hauls down down the straight. You can just see Terry isn't able to close down. Terry looks like he got a better run through the 130R. Isn't going to be able to get the traction. Looks like he was able to close up on the braking zone into the final chicane. Oh, kick of the rear there for Terry, losing that traction. And unfortunately he has that opportunity right now.
And we've seen it multiple times during this race that every time Terry comes out of that last turn, he gets that little bit of a kick.
So another thing that we did mention about 2 laps ago, and this is now Jude Neville closing up on the back of Flip van Zyl, and you're not your eyes are not deceiving you. That is a 2:9.8. That is 0.9 quicker than Andres Rodio's fastest lap of a 2:10.7. Jude Neville already putting the hammer down. But in response to that lap, Flip van Zyl did his fastest lap as well with a 2:10.4. So the pace of the race has definitely increased.
Yeah, I think these two guys are really going to push it now. Because Flip does not want to lose that 3rd place. And Jude definitely wants a 3rd place.
Yeah, most definitely. So Advia is saying that Terry reminds me of the ice cream man tonight. Scary approach on his victims. Oh, that's absolutely awesome. And Daniel Damaso Preto saying Suzuka is so good in the wet. It is definitely. Jude is wide. I wonder if that will be a track cut. Only time will tell. So this is Jason versus the other Jason. Oh, they just happen to both have a slow down. It's a little warning that just shows that it comes up white that they're going slower than normal. And Andres Rodeo is saying, sorry Jude Neville, I will not allow you to have the fastest lap. I will just go and do a 2:09.7. Who needs your 2:09.8? So absolutely fantastic backwards and forwards here. And Jude now within a second. And there is going to be at least one more lap after this, because Andres Road is already halfway through the lap. There's a minute 45 left to go. So
I think he's just trying to set that fastest lap so he can claim pole and the fastest lap.
Terry Wolford into the pits has come out. So it looks like that might have been another drive-through for Terry, because there was no stop time. It was just travel time in the pits.
And it looks like he lost the position to AD.
That is correct. So this is the last throw of the dice here for Flip and Jude Neville. And that gap between Sean and Andre has been that 34.5, 34.6, and it has stayed there. Because while Andre did that 2:09.7, Sean did a 2:10.2. So 0.5 was the gap there between the two of them, but Sean still doing his fastest laps as well.
Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
So there we go, Andres Rodeo on his final lap, and they're 2:09.8 there. So Andre really not holding back now, and it looks like Lamborghini, AMG and Ferraris Whoa, Jude on the grass going into 130R.
But it doesn't seem to have upset him much.
Yeah, he definitely carried a lot of momentum through there. But this AMG is just so quick. So Jude looks like he might have had a little look. Is it going to be a late lunch? Gets on the brakes, a little bit squirrely. And flip gone too wide, which opens a door there for Jude. Jude then sneaks up on the inside and moves himself up into third place.
I think Flip was just trying to push that braking limit a little bit so that Jude couldn't get past. But left it a little bit too late.
Just missed it there. But Jude now up into third position.
But Flip's still close enough that if he can push enough, he might get past Jude.
So anything can happen. It can be a track cut. It can be a little braking zone that gets caught out. So there is Andres Rodeo going now through the last corner. Great drive there for Andre. It's taking the top spot of the podium. Followed by Sean Lerero in second place. You can see that started in 19th position. Up 17 places. Absolutely fantastic.
And setting some of the fastest laps of the race.
You can hear that AMG just getting himself ahead of of Jason. Sean Lerero is second place there for him. I'm sure he is extremely happy with that. Jude, great comeback there, getting a little tag going into the chicane. Disappointing night there for Flip Van Zyl, having put the car in pole position, finishing in fourth place. Mohat Musa, part of the Project Vapor dominance up earlier on in this race. He unfortunately had to go into the pits, put some fuel in. So out of second place, that drops him down into fifth. And man, oh man, Aiden Russell, he was also fighting for that top spot. He unfortunately disconnecting. Rowan Heineke, it looks like he will come home in a sixth position. With Stephen Smith, a well-fought, not an easy night there for him either, in that seventh place. With Sean Domingo still fighting for that last place. Then we've got Jason Landsberg, ninth position there for him. 10th is Jason Farmer. Adrian Bond in 11th, Terry Wolford 12th place, Gary van der Haar in 13th, Jabulani Madizabondondo, he is in a 14th position. Shane Budd, newcomer to the SARCO season, finishing off there in 15th. Robert Stoltz 16th and Tyler Scott in 17th position. So absolutely a fantastic evening's racing. Not many incidents, which is exactly what we had asked the guys for in the beginning during the driver's briefing. They really did deliver an absolutely fantastic showing from all the drivers, as well as all our support, those guys that unfortunately had load shedding. Thank you so much for coming and joining us and watching the race here this evening. We are just going to get the top three in the Discord just so we can have a quick chat, and we will be back right after this. SARCO ACC is back, yos. GT3 action like never before. Lights out and the wheel racing. What a move! We have another three-way horse. It's side by side into turn one. SARCO Season 4. SARCO Season 4 indeed, and welcome guys. We are, just get rid of that, so we don't need that one anymore. Not that one. Let's go with you, Jude. An absolutely fantastic comeback race there for you. A little bit of contact between yourself and Ruan going into the chicane, but it looked like it was head down and a fight your way through the field, and it looked like yourself and Andre were trading for those fastest laps.
Yeah, I don't actually know what happened at the start, but had a decent start, then obviously had that incident. I'm not sure what happened there, so I'm not going to say whose fault it was. Then had a spin, I think, the next lap, and then just put my head down, half out great, tires didn't die off at all. And just slowly made my way through the traffic.
An absolutely great drive, and looked like that AMG was so hooked up. Just coming out of the corner, you were able to just get so much more drive, which really helped you, obviously coming to the end of the straights, and some amazing overtakes.
Yeah, I think because it's front engine, most of the cars I was racing against on mid-engine, there's less weight on the rears, so there's less pressure on the rears, there's less issues with them. But so it makes sense. But it was just a lot of tiny corrections of the steering wheel there, so it made it look clean, but the inside the cockpit was crazy.
It's like a duck, right? It's all calm on the top, but underneath it was all crazy.
Yeah.
Let's go to you, Sean. And Andre, this is by no means any disrespect, and I've been having this conversation with your Project Vapor team on the side, but definitely Sean, the driver of the day, making up 17 positions to finish second. So Andre and I used the word, had a event-free race where Sean was battling and fighting through the field there. So, and I said to them, I promise you, I'll tell you to your face that you had a great race, but Sean was the driver of the day for me.
Man, no problem. That's a mega drive from him. Yo.
The whole plan was just to let everyone else have all the drama, go off tracks. This was a one-handed drive. Okay, I am kidding, but no, it was...
You put your hand behind your head and just drove with your hand on top of the steering like this, like... Do.
Yeah, this track was... I mean, I didn't get a qualified lap in. Spun out first corner, so I thought this race was going to be one of those... Start from the back and see what happens.
Yep.
I didn't have crazy pace. I was following Ruan, and then unfortunately he had to do a pit stop. But no, I'm happy with where I ended up. No major dramas, one spin, and I didn't hit any walls. So happy with this one.
No, an absolutely fantastic drive. And Andre, wait. What was the word that was used? Oh, so it was from Grant Sebastian saying metronomic style of Andre, and I had to agree with him. It's exactly what it was. Everything was on point, lap after lap. An absolutely great win there for you.
Metronomic? Wait, I'm trying to wrap my head around what this means.
Listen, that's your teammate. You need to go figure it out with him.
Oh, God, man. Yo, this is too much. But, yeah, what can I say? I was a little bit nervous going in, especially after qualifying where Van Zel came out of nowhere with 3 tenths out of absolutely nowhere. It really did catch me off guard. So the whole strategy going into the race was at the start, I need to gun it. Because especially with the Ferraris where they lag on the start, they're not very good off the get-go. So I was hoping to take advantage of that. And just the setup was perfect. I don't really know what else to say. The car was just tuned in perfectly. Aiden Russell actually had made the setup, and it was just absolutely perfect. So it's a real shame that he had these issues with by being disconnected.
Yeah.
No, it was absolutely perfect, the setup creation.
Well, look, there was a time where we had a little bit of a fun laugh here up in the commentary box, because I saw that Ruin went off, and then all of a sudden we saw that Aiden went off. But going through Dunlop, they kind of both, probably about 6th or 7th car lengths, they both just lost the rear at the same time. It was absolutely fantastic, so you can go check that out. But there was a point where Aiden was actually catching, in terms of the lap times, is that he was putting in those fastest lap times, so he was definitely catching up into that podium.
Yeah, no, there was a point where I was genuinely struggling to beat the lap time, because like every single time I saw that the lap time wasn't purple, I was like, okay, we got to get that purple lap time.
Gotcha.
And Aiden just kept putting in those laps, and I was like, yo, it was very hard to catch, especially towards the end. I'm very sour that Jude took the fastest lap. He absolutely killed it, but I'm very sour about it. But GG's, that was a really good lap.
No, absolutely fantastic. Well, guys, it was absolutely fantastic watching it from the commentary box. A big thank you to Brandon DeSantos from our Project Cars League, who has come across and helped us once again. To our sponsors, and that is through MSR for the streaming equipment. Thank you very much for that. Obviously you can just see the quality of the stream that we do have, so thank you. As well as to NAG, who sponsor our practice servers. And man, was the server wet. But sprint races up next week. Really looking forward to those again. So a big thank you to all those that were out supporting us this evening. All the comments, thank you to all those drivers that were load shed and did come in and watch. Thank you very much, guys. All we can say is keep racing, keep practicing, and until then,